Guys, how much does it cost to live in Spain? It's a question I get asked so often. Today we're going to hang out with Debbie and Kevin. They're a Canadian couple who moved to Nerja, a beautiful town in Andalusia in southern Spain, and they're spending about 2,000 euros a month. In this video, they're going to take us line by line through their budget so we can see the exact lifestyle that they're getting for that amount of money. Plus, they're going to give us a tour of their home and of this beautiful resort-like housing development that they live on, and they're going to let us know what they were spending back home in Canada for a similar lifestyle. Now, one caveat, these guys are freehold homeowners. They don't have a mortgage or pay rent, so their budget doesn't include rent or a mortgage, but they're going to let us know what it would cost to rent a similar home to theirs in this housing development, so you can get an idea of what the budget would be if it included rent. All right, let's go and meet them and get into it.
Hello.
Hi, James.
Hey, Debbie, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Good, great to be here.
This is Kita.
Hey, Kita. Kita's scared of me.
Hey, Kevin. How are you? Good to see you.
I really appreciate you guys sharing your, an open book, like sharing your budget with us. It's so helpful for people to see. And so really what I want to do is I want to go line by line through the budget that you shared. And really, I want you to kind of paint the picture of what your lifestyle is like for the amount of money you're spending so people can kind of get a sense of what it would be like. So should we kick into it?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're kicking off with groceries. So I've got here, you told me about 75 a week for groceries, which I extrapolated out 4.3 weeks a month. So about 322.50 euros a month. I know it's a weird number. So, where are you buying your food? What are you buying for food? Tell us about that.
We're typically Mercadona. It's walking distance from here. There's a really nice fresh food market. Every Tuesday we'll pop over there, pick some stuff up, and then because Nerja is what Nerja is.
Yeah.
In the downtown, if you make your way down there, there's like a dozen fruterias and verdura shops that you can just walk in. Fresh veg from the countryside around us.
Yeah. How do you find the produce and compared to back home? Is it
amazing?
Really?
I mean, we, at home, we were home just a couple of months ago, and I bought a small box of cherries.
Yeah.
Was $19. And then I came here and I bought a box that was almost 3 times the size, and it was €5. Yeah. And the fruits and vegetables last longer. We can put them in the fridge and they last for 3 or 4 weeks. At home, if you bought them, if you didn't eat them in the first 4 or 5 days, they were junk.
And then, so keeping with food, eating out, you guys put here 430 a month. So what is that? How often are you going out? What kind of places are you going to?
We're going out probably 2 or 3 times a week. Okay, we've found that we have a very busy social life. We were out Friday night with friends. We were out last night with friends. We were out tomorrow night with friends.
Getting up this morning was a little painful.
Yeah. You should have thought about the fact that you were filming.
Yes,
you
gotta,
look out.
Exactly. We did cut it off after one.
Okay, you cut it off.
But we're spoiled for choice in Nerja. There's something like 450 different restaurants and
bars, restaurants. It's crazy.
So we'll go. There's a beautiful Nepalese restaurant that we like called Pahuna. There's a nice Italian restaurant with a terrace overlooking the sea that's amazing. On average, we're spending maybe 50 or 60 euro for a dinner out with a drinks and an appetizer. And
so rent and mortgage. Now, you guys are freehold, so you bought this place and you renovated it. Well, first of all, what did you pay for the home?
We bought the house for 355,000 euro.
And then you renovated. So
what we paid the builder was about 45,000. That was from door to door, front to back. Tore up all the floors, stripped the place back down to the walls. Removed a wall, new kitchen, custom cabinetry, all new flooring, new electricity throughout, a bathroom and a half in our speak done. So remove tub, add shower, move the plumbing around in that space.
So having talked about the process of buying and renovating, I asked Debbie and Kevin to give me the grand tour.
We bought this place specifically because we have a nice gated fence and for the dog and lots of space for her to run around. But the house is beautiful too. Come on in.
I'd love, give us a tour. After you, if you're behind the camera, I can't see you. Okay, wow. So beautiful kind of open plan.
So we didn't ship a lot of stuff. Everything we got here is new. The only piece of furniture that we actually shipped was this coffee table because Kevin made it. So
and then flows through into the
Flows
kitchen.
through. This is the only place we changed the floor plan. So there used to be a wall where this fridge is that came out and a tiny little door. And so the kitchen was very, very tight and it was difficult to move. You couldn't open the fridge and the drawers at the same time.
It's a beautiful kitchen and super modern, and you know, you've got everything. This looks like a TV up here. I suspect it's not, but
No, that's exhaust. I've never seen an exhaust like that, but it works.
yeah. And you've got great storage down here, so
Fantastic storage and
Great light.
really, really nicely designed kitchen space.
what is this? I see this amazing thing here.
This is Kita's fault.
Okay.
It was one of those, coffee bean dispensers from the, from the Mercadona or the grocery store or whatever.
From Spain, right?
No. We brought this from Canada. We
Okay.
bought it for 20 Canadian dollars or something.
Okay, wow.
We filled it up. We put our dog food in it.
Oh, it's got dog food in it. I love
It's
that.
a story.
I was like, Purina. I was like, I don't think I've tried that coffee.
No.
You know, we're on the pro plan of coffee.
It's not a very good coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
It's excellent for her.
Yeah, she loves it. It's her coffee. So should we check out
Yeah, come on out.
the terrace? Beautiful. I mean, this is what you want in Spain, right? This kind of terrace.
It really is. This is our outdoor room. We spend all our time out here. Almost all our time out here.
Even in the winter?
Yeah, absolutely. In the evenings, it's a little bit cooler. We have a little portable heater we plug in sometimes. When we got here, we just couldn't sit out here. It was so hot.
Yeah.
So we put this sun structure
This is
up.
key.
And,
This is key.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's like a totally different night and
Yeah.
day. We can sit out here comfortably almost all
Yeah.
the time. So our master bedroom, which we absolutely love because it's nice and big, and it's got its own little ensuite. And then this is our second bedroom.
Okay.
And one of the great things about this house is that window is the only window that opens onto the street where anybody can see into the house.
Okay, but it's still like a little alleyway, right? It's not
It is.
It's not
It's a-
cars going past.
It's a pedestrian walk, so and full of gardens and flowers, so it's beautiful.
So now we're heading down into effectively what are your gardens, right? This is your private garden within the urbanization.
And we still have some work to do in the garden, but our urbanization actually provides a gardener for us. He comes
For
in.
your private area.
Yeah, so he comes in once or twice a month to help with weeding, and if we need something added or planted, he'll do that for us.
And then I see you have like an apartment down here, right?
We do. So coming from Canada, obviously we expect a lot of guests that are going to stay for a long time.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's a full like apartment.
It's a
I
full
expected like
apartment.
a room or something.
We were really fortunate that they had renovated the bathroom already, so it's got a nice big shower, and then we have the bedroom, so perfect place for people to stay. And then of course storage is always a problem, so we have
Wow. This is where
the
your remote control
extra-
cars are.
Yeah.
With,
It's where one of the Hobbies lives.
yeah,
Yes,
really.
yes, exactly.
Okay, so you've got the storage. Yeah, storage is often, storage is an issue in our house in Madrid. It's just, that's why there's been such a growth also in storage units all around, because people have bikes and they have stuff now that houses weren't built for.
Debbie and Kevin have a beautiful home and garden. We sit down again and they share their experience working with a buyer's agent to find this property.
Buying a home in a foreign country is just, it's so full of cultural stuff. There's a lot of risk involved. And so to have someone who's like representing your interests is really, really key. And they may pay for themselves on the negotiation potentially. I've had friends who have used buyer's agents who, obviously depends on your budget, but they'll pay for their fee in negotiating down the actual price.
Real estate market is so different from what we have in North America. And, we've found properties that were listed on Idealista 5 or 6 different times with different addresses and different prices and different agents. And you really didn't know what was real. You would find listings that had been there for months and sometimes years, and they didn't take them down because it's free advertising
It's just
for them.
to capture people.
Yeah.
And we actually tripped on that because we had our sort of our checklist of houses that we were kind of interested in. This actually was one of them. And, Monica went out because we were in Canada and she was doing this from here while we were in Canada. And she went to go try and visit some of these places that were on our hit list and they'd been sold months ago.
And I think that's the thing. And just to kind of talk to you guys back home, what we're referring to here is a buyer's agent, which is not a common type of real estate agent in Spain. Most agents in Spain work for the seller and are tied to the property. So when you go and buy, you're dealing with the agent that's actually representing the seller effectively. But there are buyer's agents you can work with who you'll pay them a fee, and they will work to find you the property, negotiate on your behalf, kind of be your spirit guide throughout the whole process. And if you're curious, guys, in the link down below, there's a link to my recommended professionals, including buyer's agents, all sorts of different professionals, immigration lawyers, tax lawyers that can help you on your move. They're people that I recommend. So if you want to click that link down below, you can check that out and get in touch with those people.
And then the other thing is we were negotiating and looking from the other side of the world. So it was great to have her go in and look at properties. There were a couple of properties that on paper were perfect. And she walked in, did the tour, took some pictures, sent us pictures, and then called us and said, "You don't want this house."
Yeah, that's the thing. You trust, and you can trust them.
It smells or it's damp. They can see water damage.
Move the couch and there's water damage all up the back of the wall behind the couch.
They know where to look, and they've seen all the properties, so they know in relation to others. And I should say, actually, some professionals, again, just to kind of educate you guys back at home, say an immigration lawyer or a tax lawyer, are Spain-wide, right? Wherever you're moving to in Spain, they can be your representative, currency exchange, whatever it may be. But property, buyer's agents or property buyers, you want to get one in the region. So Monica, who Kevin and Debbie worked with, is in, the Malaga province. You want to get someone local. If you're in Madrid, you'll get someone else. If you get, in Valencia, you'll get someone else. Again, it's all linked down below. And I think that's local knowledge is what's super important. So you told me your HOA is it's about 300 euros a month. Tell us what you're getting for that 300 euros, the HOA fees.
First off is our gardeners. I mean, that's the biggest part of the cost for the budget for the urbanization. We actually employ more gardeners here than the town does. We're surrounded by plants, and it's stunning. We do live in a bit of a paradise. It also includes our water, because we have a special contract. The urbanization has a contract with the water company. But then there's also the socials, that we have our own social salon. We have 5 swimming pools, and then we have 2 restaurants on the property, or we call it our village. And they are independent businesses, but they are a big part of the community.
I'm curious to see these pools and bars. So Debbie and Kevin give me a tour of Capistrano, the housing development they live in, which is about a 20-minute walk from the center of Nerja.
I saw this coming in. I mean, this beautiful...
Yeah, so this is a pedestrian street. There is a road on the other side of the property, and we've got a door on that side to go out to the road so we can get to the car easily.
And just to be clear, when we talk about like the urbanization, what we're saying here is it's a huge kind of housing development, right?
It is.
Is the best translation.
Yeah, there's about 500 houses. It's governed by a committee that is voted on by the ownership, sort of like a condo corporation in North America, or HOA.
So this is kind of private property in a way, but it's not gated.
Exactly.
So people could walk through.
So Capistrano was actually built in the 70s.
Okay.
By a Canadian developer,
Really?
strangely enough. It's been built to mimic a Pueblo Blanco.
A white village. And I mean, you got the olive trees, these beautiful white homes.
There's actually a story about those, that when they were building the neighborhood, the streets are all crooked and everything's bent and nothing looks like it was planned.
Yeah.
Because this was an olive grove.
And what's your mix of Spaniards and foreign residents?
We're about 40% Swedish, 40% British, and then the rest is a mix of Canadians, French, Germans.
So mainly foreign residents. Yeah. Okay.
We do have some local Spaniards as well, but primarily English.
Yeah. Do a lot of people come, and people living here permanently, or are they coming to, just for summer?
We live here permanently. I think that we're in the minority for sure. A lot of people are here 6 months of the year. Some people come for a few weeks at a time. Others come for the winter.
So how is it in the winter? Is it a lot quieter?
It's very quiet. It's wonderful.
No, no high heels, no football, no broken glasses, I think. No falling asleep on the pool.
Exactly.
No topless.
No
okay.
topless, yep.
Good to know.
This is the pool where I teach aquafit twice a week.
Okay, so you're teaching aquafit, getting
Just for
involved in
fun.
the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't get a discount on your HOA fees for
No,
that.
no. For the record, we don't.
We don't, yeah.
You know, this is sort of the heart of Capistrano. So we have the upper pool here, and then we have a much larger pool down at the bottom. And over in this white building is our Centro Comercial. We have a restaurant on the main floor. Over that bridge there, on the other side of that bridge, is a baby pool that's only yay deep. And then if you go across the street and down, this area is part of Capistrano. It's called the Pueblo. And there are 2 more pools down there, a full pool and a baby pool as well.
Okay, Cave Bar, La Cueva.
This is really like our local pub.
Yeah,
So
okay.
we pop in here for a drink on a regular basis.
Oh, wow. Wow. This is a cave bar. Feels like the bar out of Star Wars or something. Where's your favorite table?
We always sit up here at the back.
Already you hold court at the back.
We hold court. Quite often
Yeah,
after
yeah.
our general meetings, we'll come down here for a drink and dinner
Amazing.
with the rest of the committee. And
I love the wine cellars, the wine here. It's very cool.
Apart from the HOA fees, you might think Kevin and Debbie are paying really high property taxes for a place like this. Let's get back to their expenses and find out.
Property tax, because I know property tax, particularly in North America, is often a lot more than it is here. So your owners, you're not paying mortgage rent. You've got your $300 a month HOA. What is your annual property tax?
About €200 a year. We were close to 68.
yeah, almost $7,000 a year.
7,000 a year.
Canadian.
Canadian a year. And it doesn't matter what the exchange rate is. It's not even a comparison.
So, you guys are freehold. If somebody was going to rent here, because most people I find, doing the Move to Spain Masterclass and, moving to Spain, they're not looking to buy straight off the bat, maybe after a year. And I often recommend, unless you really know what you want, renting for a year can be a good idea. So if someone were to rent a place like this, what would that cost, do you think? Even in this urbanization?
Yeah, so we have a neighbor in our urbanization who has a second home that she rents out full-time, not vacation home. And it's 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, similar size to what we have here. And she charges about €1,200 a month. There's not a lot here. And that was a big part of why we decided to buy instead of rent.
Yeah.
And then add the complexity of having to find a place that will accept a dog and needing a yard for the dog. For us, it was just easier to buy. But I totally understand why you would say, renting is the way to go.
Electricity and gas. So how's that working? Have you got both, or are you using just electricity?
We do have both. So we heat our hot water here with gas, which has a major effect, as you would know, it has a major effect on your electricity bill because we're not using electric type. Right. So our gas is about 40 odd euro every 2 months. So about €20 a month.
Yeah.
And then our electricity, we're still sort of in the budgeting stage because we're just rolling into air conditioning season now. Right. So we expected the next couple of months to be a lot more than we have been paying, but we're averaging somewhere like, 50, maybe €60 a month in electricity.
So it might creep up a bit because you put them in. €60 you've put here for mobile phone and internet combined per month. Yeah.
So at home, we were paying almost $300 a month for 2 cell phones.
Not including broadband.
No, that was just for the cell phones. And here now we're on Lobster for our Spanish number, so it's €12 a month.
Okay.
50 gigs.
Each, or is that a shared?
Each.
It's a lot of data.
It is, and we don't even come close to it.
Unlimited calls for that?
Unlimited calls
€12.
throughout Europe and the UK, which is fantastic.
And so your internet, again, 60 all inclusive. So your internet, is in there. How are the speeds for that? How's that been?
It's fiber optic here in the village. We have our own. We have a guy who kind of looks after us if you want to go with the village service. So fiber optic internet, super fast, and that includes cable television. So like your terrestrial, your standard cable.
So Hobbies, we've got €15 a month here for Hobbies. So not much.
Well, you take that, you multiply it out over the course of the year. Because Hobbies for us, I snowboard. Right, the Sierra Nevada ski resort, the southernmost skiing resort in Europe, is literally 90 minutes from where we're sitting. Yep, I'll have breakfast on the terrace here in the morning, drive my 90 minutes, snowboard all day, drive back, have a shower, and then head downtown now and have dinner on a terrace overlooking the Mediterranean. It's awesome.
And how is it actually for
It's awesome.
skiing?
Honestly, it's fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, well, for us in North America, it's like spring conditions. Like all winter was spring conditions. But it's beautiful because, you get your gear on, just a long sleeve cotton shirt and a shell, and you're more than comfortable enough to snowboard all day, like you're all the way up to the peak of the thing, and then like the rest of our hobbies, Deb's volunteering with the community. She's teaching aquafit, which is like a no cost thing. We do yoga with the community, which is like €2 a visit. So to heck with it, that's a no cost thing, right? I've got my lacrosse addiction, which does cost me a little bit of money, but if I'm officiating, some of my expenses get covered.
Sure.
Right. So as far as I'm concerned, for my whole life, I've been doing it. That's a no cost thing. I don't assign a price to that. I get too much joy out of it.
Hey guys, just quickly, Debbie and Kevin are alumni of my Move to Spain masterclass. This is the 8-week online course that I offer that gives you the tools, the knowledge, and the support that you need to move to Spain, to move here and set up your ideal life here. The course is opening up again really soon. So if you're curious and want to learn more, head to www.movetospainmasterclass.com or check the link in the description below. And if you're curious about moving to Spain and want to learn more, I'd love to see you there.
And if you're curious about moving to Spain, on 10 September, I'm offering a free webinar about the 7 secrets to a successful move to Spain. I'll give you the key aspects that are critical to a successful move, including vision, timeline, location, money, immigration, property, and your landing plan. This free webinar will be extremely valuable if you've ever considered moving to Spain or you're just curious. So head to spainrevealed.com/Spain webinar to register, and I'll see you there. So next up, I asked Debbie and Kevin about their budget for professionals.
This is professionals who are helping you now, whether it's a tax professional for your annual filings or Spanish. You've put 106 a month. So what have we got in there?
Canadian taxes.
Okay. That's your biggest chunk of that?
Yeah, the biggest chunk of that is finding somebody, in Canada. Because it's interesting coming to Spain from Canada. There's lots of tax professionals that can tell you all about the UK taxes here. There's lots of professionals that can tell you all about other European taxes and how they mesh with Spain.
Or even the U.S. taxes.
Even America, even the United States, Canada. That was a challenge. Was trying to find a company that really knew, how to navigate the Canadian tax system.
And this is a Spanish company?
No, it's a Canadian one.
So we have
with the Spanish taxes.
both.
Yeah.
So we have a company in Canada that we work with who did our final sort of departure taxes and our partial year income tax for last year. And then we were non-resident in Canada from October to December. So we had to file
different filing.
non-resident taxes there. But we were still non-resident here too.
Yeah.
So we were homeless for a while.
It was quite a bit of juggling this first time around. So it might sound like a lot, like $1,000, $1,200, €1,200 on tax filing, but honestly, it's worth it. Just to have professionals that we've kind of come to trust, who know what's going on, know how to balance sort of our investments and our income and all of that stuff.
And you also said Spanish classes in here. So how's intercambio? So how's the whole learning Spanish?
I'm probably the worst of the two. Debbie's the better of the two of us as far as it comes to Spanish and stuff. But when I got here, I pretty much had nothing. I could walk into the bar and ask for my cerveza. I could ask for the check. La cuenta, por favor, and at least get that out. And
get a beer and you could pay for it.
And I could pay for it.
There we go.
And that was pretty much it. I could make my way through the grocery store.
Yeah.
But God forbid I need to ask someone for help.
Yeah.
Right, because I would be totally lost. Yeah. Right. So I said to Deb when we were moving over, it's like I really, for me, I know it's going to be a struggle, so I don't want to do a Spanish class until we're done. We've moved in, we've done whatever renovations we're going to do. We're settled. So I'm thinking January, February.
Yeah.
Start Spanish classes. I'm here by myself for the first 2 and a bit weeks. I'm scrolling.
How did that work out for you?
He's been here for a week.
I'm scrolling on Facebook, and it pops up on there that there's this guy like literally 10-minute walk from here.
Yeah.
€10 a class, beginner Spanish.
In the urbanization?
No, just outside of it. But it's like €10 a class.
Yeah.
Well, I can't go wrong at €10 a class. So I walked over, I signed up, paid my €10, and I've been going every week ever since.
And how's it going?
I struggle with the self-confidence to walk into a room and start speaking in Spanish.
Entertainment. You've got here 102 a month, which I know kind of combines with hobbies a little bit. So this is like books, museums, everything. What's going into that 102 a month?
We have a really, really nice Centro Cultura theater.
Cultural center kind of thing.
Yeah, and so they have a great program all winter long. So we've been to flamenco, we've been to concerts, I've seen the ballet.
And what does it cost to see a show?
12 euros.
Between 12 and 20 euros.
So the next one, transportation, we've got 100 euros a month. Now, not included in that is the car, because that was a one-off cost. Yes. But you did buy a car, right?
We just bought a used Mini, 12,000, right? And the guy that I bought it off he's a dealer, so he did everything. He did the license transfer, he did the ownership transfer. He set up my insurance with Línea Directa, which is an English-speaking insurance company in Spain. another one of those nice things. I can get that done. I can deal with it.
And how often are you using it realistically? Like
once, twice a week.
Yeah, there are some weeks where it doesn't move off the street, and then there are other weeks where we're running around. We've got appointments or whatever.
100 euros on transportation, clothing and shoes, 20 euros. So you haven't bought much. You didn't need much.
I buy a lot.
Yeah,
but everything here is cheap. So
yeah, travel getaways here we've got 333 euros and 33 cents. Again, I've broken that down to like 4.3 weeks. You said you've got a mixture of national travel. You've taken one trip so far, and also a trip back to Canada. So yeah, it's kind of paint the picture of what
flying back to Canada is expensive. So like that's the majority of that is going to be a trip back to Canada.
How often do you plan to go back?
At least once a year is kind of the plan.
Once a year for now, while Mom's still with us, for sure.
And what about your national travel?
Inexpensive.
Yeah, I'm traveling throughout Spain on the train system is inexpensive and easy and so much less stressful than flying. And then, Kevin's got a friend who just moved to London, so we'll probably take a trip
up there
a long weekend in London.
Yeah.
I've got friends coming over from Canada who are going to Italy, so we might fly over and meet them for a few days. And
tell us about health insurance. How did you find it? We've got 150 euros a month.
That's one of those places where like the buyer's agent was like really helpful.
Yeah.
Because as we were going through that process, I mean, it wasn't cheap. To hire the buyer's agent cost us quite a bit of money. Like it was basically
what did you spend?
Just about 10
grand
all in for the buyer's agent. But they hooked us up first IBI. They got us, the cable and the internet transferred for the house. They got us our home insurance.
You used their network. Yeah.
To kind of find.
They opened our bank account.
They opened our bank accounts for us. They got all of that done. Our gas bill was all set up. And then they hooked us up with a company to help us with, our health insurance for when we landed here. So
for that 150, you guys, obviously you came on the non-lucrative visa. So for that, you need a full cover. So that's 150 for both of you, for two people, full year, well, per month, but obviously extrapolated out. And that's full cover. That's the full deal. Have you used it yet?
Nope.
No,
haven't needed to.
So last one we've got here, pets. So we've got your dog. 20 euros a month. What's going into those 20 euros a month?
Just
Food.
food and pet care. Tomorrow I got to take her down to the vet and get her, rabies shot and all that stuff updated, and then like her landing costs when, Deb and the dog flew into Portugal. So I picked them up in Portugal, drove them back over. But then, take her to the vet, get her microchip changed and all of that's just all the regular registration type stuff.
How was it you brought her over, Deb? So how was that process bringing?
It was crazy.
A lot of people move with pets,
We did the private pet charter thing.
Oh, that's right. You guys did private pet charter. Yeah.
There weren't any charters leaving from Canada.
Yeah.
So we ended up having to go through immigration twice.
Yeah.
So I had all her paperwork done in Canada. We drove to the States. I luckily have family in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So I stayed with them for 10 days while we had all her U.S. paperwork done with a vet there. And then we flew from New Jersey.
Because she needed the U.S. paperwork to leave from the U.S. Okay, got it. Yeah.
We put the group together on Facebook. So it wasn't, I know there are companies now like Canine Jets that do this on a regular scheduled basis, but we were kind of ahead of the curve there. So we again got into a Facebook group of people moving with pets and found a group and a date that worked for us.
So all up, we've got about just over 2,000 euros for you guys to live here, obviously owning your own home. What would this lifestyle have cost back home, or what did it cost back home, would you say? It's saying Canadian dollars.
Probably between 7,000 and 8,000 Canadian a month. Like by the time you throw our travel budget in, you know, what we're spending on our car insurance, you know, we did have a mortgage at home. Like in Canada, we were still carrying a mortgage on that property. So by the time you put it all together, just the cost of things.
So maybe around 5,000 euros, more or less. So you got sort of 2.5 what you're spending now. I mean, a huge change. When you think about like retirement and your money needs to last.
We couldn't have retired at this point. We couldn't have retired at home. It just wasn't possible, right? To even consider retiring at home, we would have been 10 more years working. We were like both six-figure salaries. So we would have been 10 years more working, and we would have needed to be mortgage free.
Anyone making the move, watching this video, you know, any challenges they should be aware of? What would you recommend people kind of think about? Or I don't know, what kind of sticks for you? If someone's asked you, like, give me a couple things.
You got to be really open to like a big life change.
Yeah.
Because that's just, no, it's not. It's a huge change. You've really got to be able to sit down, look at yourself and go, you know what, I'm really prepared. I'm prepared to make like a big lifestyle move. I've got a couple of friends that are asking me about it. Like, you know, what do you miss?
Curious about.
Yeah, what are the challenges and stuff? And, you know, some of the challenges are just the language, and that's, you know, that is what it is. And it's no different if you move from here to Canada. Like if you move from Spain to Canada and you speak Spanish and your English is poor, same thing, opposite direction. Yeah, your friends left behind. My brother's back there. My nieces and nephews are back there.
Yeah, what would you say?
But you really have to be realistic, right? I mean, I think a lot of people look at it and it's a dream, and they've got rose-colored glasses on, and you know it's going to be perfect, and I'm going to sit by the pool all day, and I'm going to, you know,
Yeah.
You're not on vacation. It's not a permanent vacation. There's still work. There's still bureaucracy. It's
the place.
Yeah.
You got stuff you have to go do. Like I got to take the dog down to the vet tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you for this, guys. It's been amazing. I really appreciate it. Yeah. And guys, if you're curious about my Move to Spain masterclass, the next cohort is coming up really soon. The course that Debbie and Kevin are alumni of. So I've linked that up here. You can head over to that page, check it out, learn more. And also, if you want to see another video from me with the mistakes people often make when they move to Spain, I'll show that, link that down here somewhere. So click over there as well, and I'll see you over there, and might see you in the Move to Spain masterclass in the next cohort. All right, guys, great to have you here. Ciao. See you in Spain.